So first of all, you place the 4 coins at the 4 corners. The length here should be right about the length of your hand, right? So maybe around this, right? And then you can adjust how long should it be. For me, around like that, okay? So first of all, I always said when I cover these 2 coins, the coin will travel from here to there. But what I did here is I steal this coin. So what we do is this. When I said I cover these 2 coins, the first, my left hand goes beside here, but I use the base of my thumb, of my hand to press on the coin and slide it. So like this, I'll cover these 2 coins, and this coin over here will travel from my left to my right like this. So there's nothing here, but my left hand covering the position like this. The coin is actually here. And then I place it back. And I do this. My hand reach forward. My left thumb, left base, slide this coin away and leave this coin there. So it looks like the first coin jumped from here to there. And then I slowly slide it back to where it's supposed to be. But now I don't just open my hand like this because it may be obvious that you're sliding it back. So from here to there, watch the first coin, I do this, and I pause here. Now, I pretend the first part is already finished, right? And then I talk about here. So I'm not like showing you, but I'm like gesturing without mentioning here. So I say, what's the second coin? Now the second coin, make sure your hand is like a straight line because you need to cover this coin as well. So you cover your left hand, cover here, right hand cover here. Now you shoot one more time, but here you slide this coin. So you steal it, see? And your left right hand base, palm away this coin. So it looks like the second coin traveled, okay? Now you do it again, but it goes back again. This time, you leave this coin here, your left base slide off this coin. So it's like this, so it goes back. Now this hand goes forward to here, this right base, slide away this coin. So you leave it here. So it looks like this coin traveled, okay? Notice the whole process. This is covering the emptiness here. So they think there's still a coin there. Right, so like this. Now when you go back, you pretend you're covering the last coin and then you slide it there and it travels. All right, so one more time. When I cover these 2 coins, the coin from here will travel from my left to my right like this. Watch. Left hand slide away this one, right hand leave that one there. The first coin across. Watch the second one. From here to there. Nothing yet. Now you slide this coin. And it travels. Now thumb goes back again. This one. Now we're covering this one, and magically last coin travel. All right, so this is the first part. Now, the second part is even more amazing because it looks like the trick already ended. So you're casually placing them back to where it's supposed to be. That's the first one. That's the second one. That's the third one. When you slide the third one, you are actually stealing this one again. So now you steal this one, but your left hand cover it. And this position, sliding this one. this one sliding this one. So like this, and you want some misdirection. So this hand you point to this coin. You said watch this one. This time you see it. So I goes forward with these 2 coins. I said, look, do you see it? Like this. So one more time in fast motion. Right. So watch this one. And I snap my fingers and it all goes back. So that's the extra with no extra.
Hi, Danny Goldsmith here. I am super excited to share with you my ideas for Henry's Extra with no extra. When he first showed this to me, I fell in love with it, and I wasn't expecting to, because I'm not a fan of shadow coin routines. When there's an extra coin, it looks visual, but you can't show your hands empty in between. Your hands are palmed down in a concealing manner, and you have an extra coin you gotta get rid of or hide somehow. The ones with no extras have all kinds of weird, unmotivated movements. A lot of them do, where you're crossing the hands like this, which, why would you do that when you would do this? Nobody grabs things like that. All kinds of odd things that I wasn't a huge fan of. So when I saw Henry's, I immediately fell in love with it, immediately started playing with it and just having ideas. So I reached back out to him and said, hey, I'm gonna jam on these ideas with you. And here we are. So I'm excited to share with you my touches, and I'm not only going to teach you my touches on how to make it a little bit bigger, how to be able to stretch it out, but we're also going to go over an extra bonus idea, how to use some different coins. It adds another layer of deception. Let's jump in. Hi, I've been lying to you about how I do my magic. These are not silver dollars. They're actually little silver ninjas. Let me show you what I mean. See, ninjas lurk in the shadows. Rather than go from point A to point B like so, as most things do, they use the shadows of your hands to travel invisibly, just like so. The next one will go from here to here, but it'll do it using the art of deception, another essential tool of the ninja. No, not like that. They're far more deceptive than that. No, when they deceive you, they do it by jumping back and forth with no seeming objective so that they can catch their enemy by surprise. So that's my take on Henry's Extra No Extra. You'll notice we spread it out a bit, also had some subtleties to show the hands empty at a couple points. So let's go over this. First things first, the distance that you can stretch it out is about one diagonal arm's length. Well, yeah, the arm diagonally across your square. You need to be able to cover this while simultaneously covering this. Now it could be here, right? So this is right about there, and that's fine. But you don't want it bigger than that, okay? So that's the first part. Now the next thing is, in Henry's routine, you notice this coin's the one that's being reused, and it's undercover the whole time, hence why we can't exceed this distance with the arm. But to accomplish the same thing, so that the other hand can steal it at different points, this coin's going to have to be moved to this point when we go here to steal this. And it's going to have to be moved to here at some point, so that when we get here and show this, we can steal there. So let's go over it. Here, I have them on the table. I place them out, and then I'm just going to readjust them a little bit. Move them a tiny bit, and this is just so that I can come back. I have reason to touch these, and then as I come forward, I'm stealing this one with the pad of the thumb here, just as Henry does. Like, to touch these and readjust these a little bit, just a little bit. As I come up, you want to rotate your wrist out a little bit. Not come out and do this, that'd be weird. You do it as you come forward. Okay, so that the larger motion covers the smaller motion. And this is so that this coin ends up more over here rather than here. If it's here, this hand has to really come over much farther to grab that. So this rotation as you come out, place it here. This hand's gonna relax, this one's gonna come forward, and this one's gonna come back. So Henry does it, comes up. For mine, it's actually just gonna come back. You're gonna grab it with that part of the thumb, move it here, and say, but not like this. And at this point, I actually move it to this part of the hand here, the pinky side base rather than the thumb side base. And the reason why is that when you do this, it allows you to see this big it looks more like the hand's floating, basically. You can see that this area of the thumb, which you can see through here, is off of the table. And I like that, rather than like this, where the hand is lower when you're like this. The fingers are off the table, but the pad of the thumb is down a bit more. Right? So with this, you get a little bit more height, and I like that little subtlety. So, come here, show, place it back. And now as I come here, and I come forward, I'm going to leave this here for a moment. I'm going to come forward, placing this under my wrist as I tap these. Now in my presentation, I used to think about ninjas and the shadows of the hands, and that's my reason to show the hands. And that's just a nice little way to be able to show the hands empty right before this jump. So that's just under the wrist. That's it. Super simple. Hands relax back. It's as the fingers are closing down, that's when this is coming back. You're not closing and then coming back and then coming forward. The motion of the hands coming down is what covers the hands sliding back as well here. So this can go in position. Once again, pinky side base for me. So that's here. We come forward. We wave just as before. And at this part, I actually do steal with the thumb because I think it's easier and we're not going to see it for very long at all. The hand comes back and we gesture that the first one is jumped across. So when you gesture, it's important not to gesture like this where you're revealing that coin immediately, because this is a moment where you're showing that that coin's underneath that hand. You want to cover it as you come forward and gesture from here to there. So that's the point where they're going to see it, like this. And I say that this next one goes through the art of deception. And what I'm going to do is I need to get this coin right here, but I'm not going to use my hand. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my forearm, which is I'm here gesturing. So put my hand right at this natural position. And then right as I come down, as this hand rotates, and I come to cover like this, my forearm has moved this to about my center line. Okay? So once again, it's just the forearm coming up like this. I do the flick thing with joking and go, no, nothing's happened yet. They're more deceptive than that. And this is just to motivate why I'm coming here and then coming back all of a sudden, right? This kind of, oh, nope, it hasn't jumped yet. This also gives you a moment to come here and show that your hands are empty. And this is just, you're keeping your wrists on top of it. And it's actually slightly behind the wrist. I'll show you here. It's like this. But you're not going to worry about this. This arm covers for anyone to the left and the front. And this thumb, extending like this, covers to the right. So that's there. Show. Now I can grab the pad of the thumb for this case, because I don't want it here because we're actually looking at this side of the hand. So if this side's down now this looks less like it's floating. So when this hand is in this way where you're seeing this side of the hand, I use the base of the thumb so that I get a little bit more of a floaty kind of look. Same here. Boom. Jumps back, just same as Henry's routine. Jumps here, and jumps there. All of that is exactly the same as it was taught earlier. So that's it. I actually don't do the spreading them out. It's a little bit more, it doesn't quite look right when you make that bigger. With Henry's, it looks gorgeous when you steal those coins to come forward. The hand's just in a natural position. When you do it this large, one thing you can do is to do this. But this hand's coming back to this corner before it's going forward. And that's something I wasn't, a huge fan of. Also, my pad doesn't really slide. It's got a lot of friction. So it's a little challenging for me. An idea I had, though, if you want to keep with the presentation and the ninja thing, is to then take these, do any kind of, vanish you want, right? This is just a spontaneous idea of just doing the spellbound thing. That doesn't look good. There's there's better ideas. But you could do something like this and say, no, but ninjas, you know, they vanish without a trace or whatever, have them all disappear in the end too. So that's another idea I had presentationally, but I haven't worked out anything for it, so I'll leave that to you to play with. And that is my touches for the main routine. These coins are ninjas, and they do magic by lurking in the shadows. Let me show you what I mean. They don't travel the way a normal object would from one place to the other, just like so. No, they use the shadows of your hands to travel invisibly and secretly. They also use the art of deception. No, not like that. They're far more deceptive than that. They actually do it by jumping back, so that they can trick you into thinking where they are, so they can catch their enemy by surprise. And that's the bonus idea I had for extra with no extra. I thought, how cool would it be if we can do this with 4 completely different coins? I wasn't able to accomplish that. With 3 completely different coins, 4 coins total, but 2 of which are copper. Now, the way that this is done is using a gimmick. 2 gimmicks, actually, but they're very common. And that is a copper-silver coin and a copper-silver coin. So we have 2 copper-silver coins. And then we have our Chinese and similar copper coin. So what I do here is I first show like this, and you can see them, and I have these silver coin up near the top, but as I come and I lay these down, I'm going to reposition these like this, so that the one that goes there is silver side up, and this one's copper here. This one will lay the Chinese down, place the copper here. Everything's just as before, where we go here, grab it with the thumb, readjust, talk about it stealing over from here to there. Now, at this point though, when you're doing this, so when you come here to slide this, it's best to, rather than touching with the middle finger and doing this, as I think I did in the other routine, is to do it with your first finger like this, with these fingers curled in, okay, like this. And this is so that when you go here, and then you push it back, we have to flip over this copper silver coin, right? So as the hand comes back, this is going to get clipped between the palm and these fingertips, like this. And then it's going to be brought back like that. Okay? Now this is hard to catch a good angle in this, but I want to show you how this works in slow motion. We're here, these fingers are like this. We just slid, so we're motivated to be in this position. As we come back, the fingers curl under, and they curl in all the way, so they're pinching the coin to this point on the palm, and then it's balanced on its edge, and it's slowly levered down, because it's kind of pinched with these fingers and the hand here. So this can be done really slowly and silently, even if you're on a firmer table. So you're just kind of using the flesh there to kind of hold it a bit and guide it down slowly. So that's that. Now, so we're here, just come over, show this going here, push back with that first finger, come back, and as we're coming back, this is the larger action is covering that flip, okay? So it's here, show you again, copper coin, we just slid this back, and then it's here to here, right? So it's one large motion that's doing this, and that big motion of the arm covers the smaller motions of these fingers curling in. That's important. So push this back, come here, show the hands empty, and then we're going to go and make the coin jump. Now at this point they know there's only, well, they believe there's only 1 silver coin. So when we get here and this silver coin jumps, that's quite impressive, right? That's a shocking moment. We don't need to show that this is still here like we subtly do in the other routine, because it's irrelevant. It wasn't a copper coin that jumped, it was a silver coin that jumped, and they still believe it's a copper coin. So this is going to stay hidden pretty much the entire time. So rather than before where we can gesture like this, I'll still gesture, but I'm going to leave this elbow on the table so that stays covered. So it's here, come back, slide it back into position, gesture like so, turn over, and just as before, this part of the forearm is going to bring it over as we go here. Do the flicking action. It's a bit of a joke. And I really like to get the elbows out here so that the fingers are pointing this way, so you have a lot more space here than if you're like this. It looks like, you know, these fingers going underneath that hand. It doesn't look as deceptive. So really let those get out like so. Boom, come back, show, and then come in again. A solid pace is really important here, that you're constantly grabbing their attention with these routines, right? You're here, you gesture, you come in, you do this action. No, we haven't done anything yet. You have a brief moment there and you come in. It's got this pace to it. And that's important so that you're constantly directing their attention to something so they don't realize that this coin is gone. Even if you were to flash it, you don't really have to worry about it because of the beautiful pace of the routine. And that's something I really loved when I first saw Henry perform it. So we get here, make it jump, right? The silver coin jumping is especially impossible here. We get here, we can gesture at this, come back, relax a moment. There we go, we just flipped it back to copper, right? As we come up, have some kind of talking point, right? And for me, talk about the ninjas and the deception so that they can catch their enemy by surprise. So, we're here, boom, we made it jump. I say the ninjas, we point here to gesture to the ninjas, or you don't have to. It's good to point here, gesture to ninjas. Relax your body back to slide your hand back rather than doing this all of a sudden, which is not necessarily motivated. Relax the body back as you gesture, and then you could come here. Sorry, we flipped it again, but boom, come here, wave, here, wave, and we're done. Now, if you use the idea that I showed earlier where you then vanish these coins in whatever manner that you want to vanish them, talking about ninjas, these ninjas make sound. They're not the most silent ninjas, but that's part of their deception. Right? You could do something like this. All I'm doing here is really simple. I thought about this between the last routine. Now I'm like, I gotta show them something. So it's just the thumbs on a large portion of the coin. We're extending the fingers. Okay? And because the coin is directly under finger palm position, when these fingers extend, it's going to fall there. Now you're going to use what's called pinky ledge, which is a great thing by Michael Rubenstein, where the pinky is just slightly up, which creates a little ledge for it to sit on. And you can actually put multiple coins into pinky ledge. You just got to let the pinky come out a little bit further each time. Okay. And I love this because it's, you know, it just looks like you're dropping and the fingers are extending as you're doing the move, but you need the extension. That helps with the move, right? So the thumbs on a large portion, extending here, like so. So this is something you could do, right? You could be here, do this, talk about the ninjas and how these ninjas make sound. They're not the most silent ninjas. Doing this for each coin. I would say have something in your pocket maybe that you go and you grab, you know, that you can then ditch the coins, vanish, and say they hide away in their hideaway place, wherever ninjas hide. I don't know, something like that. Right. Anyways, just some extra ideas on that, and that is the bonus routine for extra with no extra. Thank you all for checking out this project, and a big thank you for Henry for allowing me to be a part of this. It was such a joy to be able to share my ideas with this. I love this routine. It's going straight into my repertoire. I hope you all put the time in and work on it. It's worth it. It's really worth it. So, thank you all. Be well.